Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Katie Drummond and a team at Wire are doing such incredible work. I want to go now to Democratic Congressman Jerry Connolly of Virginia, top Democrat on the Oversight Committee. It's safe to say you don't have any oversight over this, right? I mean, I would imagine some of this, in a sense, is news to you, Congressman. You got a 19-year-old recent high school graduate with demanding productivity and code from federal workers, and a group of young men who are associated with Elon Musk or Peter Thiel between 19 and 24 doing much of this, just from the reporting that Katie just shared.
Yeah, I think it's outrageous. Think about it. The world's premier development humanitarian aid organization, the Agency for International Development of the United States government, is going to be allegedly shut down or merged with State Department based on the findings of 6 young men from the ages of 19 to 24, hundreds of years of aggregate experience in humanitarian assistance, child and maternal health care, famine relief, refugee assistance, disaster assistance is going to be thrown out the window by a team of 6 young men just graduating from high school or college. That is outrageous. It's unacceptable. And it really gives the lie to any kind of idea that thoughtful analysis has gone into this kind of decision making.
So, Congressman, you went to USAID at headquarters today, along with other Democrats, made yourself heard today. So when Trump has said, there's fraud. He's said that multiple times as we played. Musk calls it a, quote, criminal organization. Is there anything to that?
Not that I know of. I can tell you what I do know about AID. It is the world's largest food aid program, period. It is one of the, if not the number one, it's the number 2 largest healthcare provider in the world. It is fighting schistosomiasis and almost defeated it. It's fighting polio. It's fighting COVID. It's fighting HIV. It is feeding people who are on the nutrition brink. It is providing maternal and child health care, saving millions of lives. Mm-hmm. That's a criminal enterprise? I can only say, I guess it takes one to know one. A convicted felon, convicted of 34 felony counts, ought to be able to recognize a criminal enterprise when he sees one. AID is not one.
So on the Oversight Committee, all right, and just if we can for a moment put aside the 6 individuals that Katie and Wyatt are reporting on, just to say you're on the Oversight Committee and you've got individuals that work for Musk who are in there, regardless of their age or gender. Do you have any idea what they're doing with the data that they're looking at, or whether it's being copied or stored? Do you know anything about what's happening with it?
We don't. And in fact, that has led to some resistance, both in the Treasury Department and at AID. What is Elon Musk doing? Getting into payment systems, which gets into databases, right? So he has access now to financial and sensitive data on every American based on the payments process at the Treasury Department that touches every home and every business in America. He also now has access to very sensitive data at AID in terms of the nature of our mission and the kinds of programs we're running, sometimes in very difficult terrain. So what is he doing with all that? Why did he get access? How did he get access? And what is he doing with it? And I'm calling tonight for Chairman Comer of our committee to subpoena Elon Musk and bring him before our committee so we can have answers to those questions.
All right. And when the president says, he was asked whether you needed an act of Congress to shut down USAID, right? Whether Congress was being circumvented, right? A violation of the Constitution. His response was, I don't think so, not when it comes to fraud. When it comes to fraud, you don't have to have an act of Congress. Does he have any point there?
Well, he's the one who, of course, resisted fraud charges against him and failed. But I'll put that aside the point. Congress created, at the urging of President John F. Kennedy in 1961, the Foreign Assistance Program. And we codified it in the Foreign Assistance Act of 1961 that's been amended myriad times over the last 64 years. If you create an agency by statute, as we did, then to To transform it or to meld it into another agency or dismantle it, in my humble opinion, requires an act of Congress too. So no, I think the president is dead wrong, and I think he's bluffing when it comes to saying, no, if there's fraud involved, by the way, he hasn't proved a single fraud, then all bets are off. That's not true.
All right. Well, Congressman,
the law has to be abided by.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time, and thank you very much for taking the time, Congressman Connolly.
My pleasure, Aaron.
All right. And next, the breaking news.